Janet from Durham.
Janet says, I've heard you talk about reversing diabetes. Can you share some examples and how long it took? I have one, Wally. So Wally has been a patient of mine for at least 5 years. And I believe we were able to reverse Wally's diabetes, hypertension, and get him off his lipid drugs within 8 months of doing a strict ketogenic diet. Wally lost about 150 pounds. Wally has regained some of that weight, but we're tweaking, some of the regimens with his physical activity, his medication, his nutrition, and he's losing the weight again, which is really exciting, which is very typical, right? Well, there's weight loss, and then sometimes there's a little bit of gain, and that's when you just gotta get the help, reel it in, right? Not be afraid to face the folks to say, hey, I'm struggling. I need some more help. Wally has done an amazing job of that.
Yeah, I didn't know that that could be achieved. That's an incredible story there.
Yeah, so Eric, one of the things that happens, I think that the way that Michelle and I describe this to people is type 1 and type 2 diabetes are very, very different physiologically. Sure. Type 1 diabetes is a child that's born with a pancreas that cannot make insulin. Okay, and they will be thin, and you have to give them insulin. They can't control their sugar. They can't make any insulin. Type 2 diabetics is a disease of hyperinsulinemia. You make a ton of insulin and you are resistant. Your cell membranes are resistant to the effect of the insulin. And insulin is the hormone that causes you to store fat. And this is where the term doughboy comes from. Because if you eat flour and sugar all the time, it jacks your blood sugar up, and then you're making all of this insulin, right? Hence the doughboy concept, right? So one of the things that, we obviously talk about the carbohydrate intolerance there. We restrict that, right? Because we see a lot of people that are pre-diabetic and diabetic, type 2, and exercise, regular exercise sensitizes your cell membranes to that insulin again. It helps repair the receptors for the glucose and the insulin that are on the cell membrane. And it's a very powerful tool. It is a very powerful tool in this regard. Okay, even if you were not trying to lose any weight, this really helps. And it's why you should make it a long-term habit if you don't want things like type 2 diabetes. So I will back up what Michelle says. I have a ton of success stories of people who I got off of insulin and got off of oral hypoglycemics all within the first few days that they started a low carbohydrate diet. Within the first few days. The thing is, you got to be committed. You have to understand the concept, and I have to know, and you've got to know, hey, I'm committed to that. So the diet that Charlie did, for example, that Charlie does, that gets you off of insulin immediately. When you do not eat things that raise your blood sugar, you no longer need insulin. And exogenous insulin will cause you to store fat. And so getting you off of it's important. It really is important. Yeah. And
Charlie says, thank you. You guys have helped change my life.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Charlie.
I wish I could just.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the best thing when you're on a plateau? Ethel's asking.
Change something.
Yeah. Get off the plateau. Yeah. That's right. So
adapt.
That's right. That's right. So neuromuscular adaptation. This stuff will get you in a place where you can't move and changing up your. Remember when Tony Horton and P90X, he always talked about muscle confusion. Yes. Muscle confusion. This is what he's talking about, right? Because your body can figure out what you're doing. It can figure out what you eat and what you're doing, and you got to change some stuff, right? And so there's not an exact recipe of how to do it, but I tell you, doing the same thing is not going to get you a different result.
Exactly.
Right. That's right.